everybody. My name is Nithya Akshayagunananda, and I'm here to share my experiences about Sanyas with the world. So, just to give you a little bit of a background on me, I'm a Canadian-born Guyanese background. So, my ancestors were taken as slaves by the British to Guyana. My parents then migrated to Canada, and I grew up in a suburb in Canada. Growing up in Canada, I had the best of everything. I know it's never short of everything. I had the best food, the best cars, best clothes, best toys. By the age of 17, I had my own car. I crashed that car. I got another car. I literally had everything. And even with jobs, always had the best jobs, well paid, always had money in my pocket. I was never short of anything. And in 2014, I graduated Humber College with a business marketing diploma. So, after being in the workforce for roughly 8 or 9 years, then getting my diploma, I realized there's way more to life than just going to work, getting a wife, getting a car, getting a house, settling down, and I wanted something more than that. This mundane 9 to 5, going up, waking up to work, shoveling snow, which nobody in Canada likes, that wasn't for me. I had to do something. And growing up Hindu, the magical aspect of life was always that possibility because I always grew up knowing about the piranhas. I even went to a temple one time, and the deity literally accepted the Nivedium that I offered onto the linga. The milk, the linga actually drank the milk. There's no runoff. So I always knew it was real. Hinduism was always a real thing for me. And in 2011, I found my first guru, Yogi Rajasthak Gurinath Siddhanath, and he awakened me to the possibility of enlightenment, and that enlightenment was actually possible in this lifetime. See, the one story that really got me was there was a criminal. He was one of the worst of the worst. Committed every single crime you could possibly think of. He was a murderer. There was actually a serial murderer, and he decided that he was going to make a change in his life, and that he took up the path of Sanyas, and he ferociously just went for his enlightenment, and he achieved the enlightenment in that lifetime. Even though he was a murderer, even though he was one of the worst criminals ever, he achieved it. And I thought to myself, if even he can achieve it, surely someone like me, who I've never done anything that bad in my life. I would have been a little bit of a wild teenager here and there, but for the most part, I was good. So if he could do it, I could do it. And I decided I have to become enlightened because there's the technology available, I know about it, and I figured if I take another birth, I might not have that availability to me anymore. That knowledge might get lost to me. So now that I know about it, I have to do it. So I decided in this life, no matter what, I'm going to become enlightened. So years went by, and I kept on working, kept on doing the same regular thing. I was just smoking a lot of cigarettes and drinking a lot of alcohol at that time because, I remember one time I actually realized I was escaping reality. I didn't want to be in this reality anymore because it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something different. I used to be chasing the buzz, is what we say in Canada. And when I really cognized why, I was trying to achieve a higher state of consciousness, but I was trying to do it through the wrong means. So there was actually a point where I was in college, and I was doing a very, very intense English paper. And I had to pull an all-nighter, and the thing that kept me going through that entire night, even though it was crazy ridiculous, I was so tired. And again, it was mentally straining, and it was at least 3 or 4 in the morning. I kept on taking meditation breaks. Having the Shaktipada with my Kriya Guru through a YouTube transmission video that he has, I would just take 10, 20-minute meditation breaks and then go back to work. And that's what kept me going through the night. And that night itself, I had a Satori experience where literally I lost body consciousness, and I couldn't feel this body. I couldn't feel the bed that the body was on. I had my eyes shut, so I lost awareness of everything around me, but I was fully aware of everything. It felt like I was floating, and I was in extreme bliss. I could compare it to actually those intoxicated states. The intoxicated states that I would normally go into through like through alcohol or whatever, I felt that even though I wasn't intoxicated at that time. So after that experience, I realized just through my own being, I can experience those intoxicated states and even something beyond that. So it really gave me the courage to just go for it because I actually experienced that on my own, just through meditation, just through Shaktipada, and having the guru in my life breathe through my spine. Having the oneness with me, he breathed the breath through my breath and let me achieve that state. So at one point, like my first guru, he's kind of an older. He has an older body. So I was wondering one day, what am I going to do if he leaves the body before I get a chance to meet him and actually have the official Kriya initiation? And 2 days later, Swamiji popped up in the related links in YouTube. And after that, I just clicked on that one video and I just knew that same day after that same video, that's what I'm going to do with my life. That's what is going to bring me to enlightenment. Swamiji is going to do it for me. So after that, 2016, I came to my first inner awakening with Swamiji, and I stayed back for Nithyananda Yogam. In Nithyananda Yogam, Swamiji said that only sannyasis can manifest the physical powers of Paramashiva. So there's 463 powers. 400 powers is straight from the third eye, so you can directly do that even as a grihastha. But there's 63 powers that only a sannyasi can manifest. Because only a sannyasi has the kind of body that can actually manifest those kind of powers. See, it might look like the same kind of body on the outside, but it's not. On the inside, physiologically, psychologically, physically, and neurologically, sannyasis are fundamentally different from grihasthas, the householders. So after hearing about that, because I really wanted to do materialization, I really wanted to do teleportation. Those are the two Shaktis I really, really want to manifest more than anything. Those Shaktis are only able to be done by sannyasis. So after finding that out, I just declared from then, I'm going to become a sannyasi. And a year after that, sannyas only opens up to you when you're really carrying that space where you're really there for it. So a year later, my space really opened up to it, and I decided on Swamiji's Jayanti day that I'm going to take sannyas, I'm going to take the jump. It was funny because a day before that, I had told somebody who asked me, when are you going to take sannyas? I said, maybe 10 years later, maybe 10 years from now. 10 hours later, I took sannyas. Because it was just one of those things where nothing's ever going to prepare you for sannyas. You just have to make the jump. And I just thought to myself, look, if I know it's there, I know it's the best life to manifest what I specifically want, which is physical shaktis, which is enlightenment, because this lifestyle is literally, it's the career of living enlightenment. It's the career path where if somebody was to ask you, what do you do all day? Everything that I do is towards enlightenment. My first guru actually said, there are people who, if you ask them, what do they do? They say, God. What is your career? God. Everything, God. What is that? That's sanyas. Everything we do is live God, be God, God, God. Why? For the sake of God. I want to become God. That's it. Why? Because I already am that. As per our Shastra Pramanas, we are the ultimate now as we are, even if we're manifesting the worst of the best. But only a sannyasi is actually going to pick up the brahmacharya, the actual lifestyle of living a God. See, if you look at the word brahmacharya, Brahma means God, the ultimate. Charya means the lifestyle. So it's the lifestyle of living as God. So if that's what I wanted, then naturally I had to pick up the lifestyle of living as a God. See, brahmacharya, it gets watered down through this word of celibacy. It doesn't mean celibacy. It's something way more than that. Because there's the 5 vows, the satya, asteya, aparigraha, ahimsa, and brahmacharya, which means always speaking the truth, always living with minimal possessions. It doesn't mean that you don't have anything at all. It means only the things that you need in order to operate your life. And you don't hold on to anything either. Because holding on to something is ultimately just an attachment that will bring you down. See, I remember back when I was in Canada, when I was in high school, I would always be thinking about, I gotta get the next phone, I gotta get the next Call of Duty, and it would really be tormenting me because it would really be on my mind, and it just would not stop until I would get that. But now that I live aparigraha, it doesn't matter if I have, even if the things that I have that I need aren't on my being, I'm fine. I know if I walk out the door with literally nothing, I don't have pockets anymore because I wear the sacred kavi cloth, but if I had pockets, or if I have my coffee bag, even if I have literally nothing in there, I know I'm fine. I know I'll be taken care of by the cosmos. I feel completely and utterly secure with literally having nothing. So that's what aparigraha does for me. And then there's the asteya vow, non-stealing, non-coveting of other people's possessions. See, this really cuts the jealousy and the greed out of your life. Because the 5 vows are a safety mechanism for yourself, so that you always live in the best way, and then you can always fall back on them. You can always put the blame on the vows. If you're really, really struggling with something, greed might come up. If I see that, I can just say, wait, asteya, no. I could always just say asteya. If I know there was something that I would have really loved to have in high school where, everybody's so obsessed with sex and losing your virginity at a young age, and you get very condemned and blasted for it if you don't have sex at a young age in high school, at least in Canada and America. So back in those days, if I had brahmacharya, I could have very easily just said brahmacharya. I don't have, it's okay for me to be a virgin, and I can have a pride in being a virgin because I'm a brahmachari. It's not like I just don't have the ability to do it. It's the freedom of my ferociousness that I choose not to have sex because I'm picking up the highest lifestyle. And it's not only just not having sex just for the sake of, I'm pure because I don't have sex. No. It's using that sexual life energy. See, life force energy is a sexual energy. So when it comes down to the lower chakras, like the root chakra, it produces the semen or the vaginal fluid for females. But if you use that same sexual energy, which is the life force energy, and you transmute it upwards to the higher chakras, you'll open up the higher dimensions of reality to yourself, which are normally not available to you. Or you might get a glimpse of it here and there, but it really is not there available to you all the time. But through the transmutation of this life force energy, this prana energy, this sexual energy, through the chakra system, through the different meditations, pranayamas, kriyas, pujas, yogas, we are able to harness this energy to become superhuman gods, which is what our natural state would have been if we hadn't become so toxified by our daily living in society, the powerless cognitions that are manifested, all these different things. Which again, as a sannyasi, you have to live the highest charyapada, the highest lifestyle, where I can't toxify my body because of my vows. So it protects me. I can't indulge in something that I know will be harmful to my being and my body and my mind, because it again goes against my vows to harm myself or to harm others. Which again, that's a ahimsa vow. Non-violence, not only towards others, but towards myself. Because there's so many things that we do in life that are completely, utterly life negative or abusive to your own self, but you don't even realize that. Or even if you realize that, because you don't live that lifestyle, you're okay with saying, I don't care. Like, I used to smoke, me conserving cigarettes was me smoking 17 a day. Just because I wanted between 3 and 6 for the morning. So, I would literally poison myself every single day, smoke to this point at where I was in pain, drink myself to sleep because I couldn't go to sleep because my mind was never at ease. And that was okay for me because I lived a lifestyle where even with the people around me, if you tell somebody you drank yourself to sleep yesterday, people would laugh and praise you for it. Like, you must have had an awesome night last night. Or, with my chain smoking, nobody would question me on it. Even if they did, I wouldn't even care. It's like, yeah, I know it's bad for me. I don't care. And that was even a precursor to me doing even more harmful things to myself in my life, because I would just tell myself, look, I smoke cigarettes. I literally consume 4,000 chemicals a day. Why do you think I care about anything else? And what was that ultimate statement I was making to myself? It was really just me saying I don't care about myself. But now as a sannyasi, I don't have that option. I have to care about myself, and I have to care about others. Because the lifestyle of sannyas is, your life is for others. Your life, you have to live for enriching every being on this planet who comes in front of you. See, I might not be able to reach out to the entirety of the world, but through the blessing of Paramashiva, we have the technology now where I can literally reach out to the entirety of the world through social media, Facebook, YouTube, all these different things, even this video here that I'm trying to convey all the best that I have to you guys right now. I'm able to do that. But again, even I have people calling me at every hour of the day, literally just calling me for life solutions, calling me for healings, because by the grace of my guru, Swamiji Paramashivoham Nithyananda Swami, he's empowered me to be a healer to be able to scan the cosmos through the third eye, which, because it's Paramashiva's third eye and it's his Shaktis, he's having the oneness with everybody. And when I have the oneness with him, I am everything. So I have access to the direct knowledge of the entire cosmos. So I can give direct life solutions and direct healings throughout the course of the day like nothing. Like it's as easy as breathing for me now. And it's one of the funnest things to do. And I really, really enjoy it. Even though, back when I was in Canada, if people were calling me night and day with their problems, I would have had the most vicious response to them. I would have just been like cursing at them like there's nothing. But now I'm glad when they call, because I know it's an opportunity for me to enrich their life, enrich my life, and manifest the Shaktis, which is one of my favorite things to do in life now. Because it really, really puts me in that higher space of, like back when I was chasing the intoxicants, now I realize I was never chasing that. I was really chasing this. I was chasing the power manifestation. I was chasing the higher states of consciousness, which I have access to through these Shaktis. So, I'm always constantly reaching out to the world, literally healing people. It's actually brought me a closer relationship with my family as well. Like me and my dad, we hadn't spoken to each other for like a few months or even maybe a few years or whatever, because he had moved to Guyana, I was in Canada. Relationship was kind of rocky after my parents' divorce. So after I became a healer, I was actually able to heal my dad's eyesight. I was able to cure his diabetes, lower his blood sugar, and I know now that I take care of him. Even though I'm in India and he's in Guyana, I'm literally able to just scan the cosmos and check up on him and see, is his arthritis flaring up? If it is, I can cool it down and heal it. If he's in pain, I can heal that pain. If he's having bad eyesight, I can take that away. If he needs a life solution, I can provide that for him. Even without his knowledge, even without him knowing, I'll just scan him and heal him. Which is one of the greatest things. It's really brought us like much closer. Even though I'm further away from him distance-wise, I'm closer to him now than I've ever been in my life. And that's what this lifestyle of Sanyas has brought to me. So I ultimately know that through this lifestyle of Sanyas and being with my guru, who's a direct embodiment of Paramashiva, who is the God that I've been praying to my entire life, he has empowered me to live the highest way possible. He's empowered me that I know I'll become enlightened no matter what. And even if I leave this body and I don't achieve it, because of the vow of Sanyas that he's going to take with me, when I be, as a Sanyas, there's different levels: Bautika Brahmacharya, Nishtika Brahmacharya, and Purna Sanyas. The Purna Sanyasis, the Guru takes the vow back that he will be with you in every single lifetime until you achieve that enlightenment. He'll never stop until you achieve enlightenment. So I know there's that safety net there that even if for some reason I don't achieve it now, he'll always be there for me and he'll make it happen for me. So I can rest assured that I will achieve the ultimate experience, which is what I destroyed myself through alcohol and cigarettes and everything trying to achieve. Even like the party lifestyle. We call it Mr. Fett back in Canada. It's literally, I was at every single party. Every party, if you name it, I was there. And, staying out till like 2, 3 in the morning. And again, because I'm Coolie, that's West Indian, like we have that culture of partying like non-stop. Like a Coolie party doesn't end until 4 p.m. the next day. And it only ends at 4 p.m. because you need to sleep for a couple hours so that you can get up and start partying again. So I was through partying, through alcohol, through cigarettes, through chasing women, trying to achieve the ultimate. And now I have that lifestyle where I know for sure I'll achieve the ultimate. And I have all these different reference experiences that because I'm a sannyasi, I'm in a position where I have to manifest powers to enrich the society I'm in. I have to do the puja and the yoga every day where those give me those different experiences of the higher states of consciousness, where I keep on getting reassured that yes, I'm on the right path, I am experiencing these higher states, I am experiencing the full capacity of my body itself, because when the third eye is initiated, penetrated through the oneness of Paramashiva, the rest of the 90% of the brain that is normally not used, that gets activated. The different DNA strands in your body that you don't use gets activated. So I'm using my body and my consciousness to the fullest extent. And it's a really amazing experience that I get to have. I'm blessed to have that lifestyle where I get to experience that every single day. So as a sannyas, so that's what the sannyas lifestyle does for me, where I'm constantly, I can't abuse myself, I don't abuse others, I don't do anything that's gonna set me back spiritually. And if I'm ever collapsing, I have all the spiritual technologies to bring myself back to the highest space, the highest state. Radiating the state, space, powers, and beings of Paramashiva is what I do every single day in every action, whether it's the way I eat, the way I dress, the way I interact with people, the way I handle myself in situations. So normally, if somebody would have made me angry before, I would have just blamed it on that person and condemn them. But now, as a Sanyas, I realize everybody that comes in front of me is a mirror reflection of my own self. So if they're doing something that I don't like, I just realize this is the cosmos showing me something that it wants to give me a karmic breakthrough in. So I only look into my own self and say, okay, where am I doing this in my life? And then when I see that, just by the remembrance and the acknowledge of it, that simply breaks in me and I have a karmic breakthrough. I push myself and elevate myself way further in life than I've ever been. I live a lifestyle where I'm constantly only improving myself. That's essentially what the lifestyle of a sannyas is. You improve and improve and improve and expand yourself until you ultimately achieve the ultimate improvement, which is enlightenment. And that's only it's the final achievement, but it's not the finish line. Actually, sorry, it's not the final, it's the ultimate. Ultimate means this is the last expansion you need, but from there you have the ultimate space of possibility. The ultimate space of possibility where there's 10,000 possibilities, 100,000 powers, you name it, it's there. There's a Shakti where literally you can create more Shakti. So you have a limitless possibilities, which actually gets back to my name, limitless attributes. That's what Akshayaguna means, limitless attributes. So there's a Shakti to actually make limitless Shakti. So I literally live a lifestyle where I'm not limited in any single way possible. Once I achieve that enlightenment, I'm literally going to only ever expand more and more and more into my possibilities, into my powers, into my ability to enrich society. Because ultimately, what is all the powers for? Like, yeah, it's cool to have powers, but what are you going to do with it? Like, why have superpowers if you're not going to actually do something with it? If you can do something with it, you can go on and on doing something for yourself, and that's cool, but at some point, you'll run out of things to do. Like, that's why we renounce materialism, because in that materialistic life, there's only so many things you can grab before you realize, if I only do for myself, I'm going to get bored. But if I'm always constantly doing things for others, I'll get enriched and have amazing experiences. There's so many amazing life experiences that I have that it's because I was enriching somebody else. It's because I was sharing with somebody else. Actually, yesterday, somebody was having he's going through a detoxification, so he's having a lot of throwing up, nausea. There's a lot of health issues right now. So walking by, just as a Sunday, I'm just like, hey, would you like that third eye healing? Would you like me to scan you? He said, yes, please. I could even just hear the desperation in his voice. It really was just please help me. Even though he didn't ask for it, as a sannyas, because I'm responsible for everybody around me, I take that responsibility. I'll go out of my way to say, do you need a healing? It looks like you need one. So I scanned him, and the solution that came up for him was that whatever pain is in your body, it's ultimately your body calling out to you, saying, look, I need attention here. Please put the attention here. As soon as you put the attention and awareness on that part of your body, you'll see that if you just experience it fully, that pain will just go away. It'll leave your body. And that's something I needed to hear as well. But, it's because I scanned him and I gave that solution to him that I realized I also need to do that. So after I did that, I also did that meditation where I put the awareness on every single part of my body. I just relaxed into it. I just fully surrendered to the cosmos and said, okay, look, anything that comes up, it's not right, wrong, good, or bad. It's just something that is there in me that needs to be having the attention and awareness so that it can leave the system. Ultimately, it's not a part of me, but it's there to the extent that it's calling out for attention. So just put the attention there. And I had a really, really big breakthrough where I was able to scan more thoroughly than I've ever been in my life. I really, really experienced the space of oneness and the space of darkness with Paramashiva. And you might be thinking that the space of darkness, it has a negative connotation in the West. As a sannyasi, darkness has the most amazing, beautiful context possible because it's a space of creation. It's a space of pure consciousness, which is ultimately what this reality really is. This reality really is just pure darkness. Everything else that we see and perceive in front of us is just light particles that accumulate and solidify themselves to a certain frequency, and that becomes this reality here. But when you remove the light, the only thing that's left is darkness. And that darkness is just a pure, loving, healing energy that when you experience it, it's just the most beautiful experience possible. I can't even quantify it in words. It's just something that you have to experience for yourself. And because I healed that person, I got that solution, I implemented it, I was able to have that beautiful, healing, loving energy experience with the cosmos, with the cosmic mother. That I was literally just connected to the entirety of the cosmos and downloading massive amounts of energy and knowledge that normally I wouldn't have been able to have access to. But again, because I healed him, because that's my lifestyle as a sannyasi, I was able to have that experience. And that's just one of many. One of many, many, many. Like, I have one friend that he has sciatic nerve pain. And medically, there's no cure for that. Within 5 minutes of this third eye healing that Swamiji has initiated us into, the Nithyananda spiritual healing, I was able to heal his sciatic nerve pain just through Facebook Messenger. And he's always super grateful to me now. Like, it wasn't me, it was only Swamiji who did it. But ultimately, through this vehicle, this body vehicle, through the oneness with Paramashiva, he was able to have healing for his nerve pain. And if anybody's ever experienced nerve pain, you know that's one of the most crippling, worst, intense pains possible. In 5 minutes, I was healed. And I have so many experiences like that, where I had so many experiences where it's just blissful, enjoying other people enjoying me, other people getting enriched through this lifestyle of like literally something that's not possible to be cured medically has been cured in 5 minutes. That's the ultimate statement of sannyas. It's the ultimate possibility, it's the ultimate powers. It's a lifestyle where, because you've renounced all of your vested interests. See, renouncing doesn't mean renouncing like every single thing in the world. Well, ultimately you don't get to that point, but that's just to get to the enlightenment experience where you experience everything. So it's not that I'm denying everything. I'm renouncing the superficial aspects of it, the surface level layer of aspects of it, so that I can experience everything in its totality at once. In the oneness with everything I am, everything, so hamasmi, even when I pray I am that. The oneness, the Advaita. Even though this body and that body is physically separated, in the level of consciousness, I'm feeling alive in it and I experience myself as that. I experience myself as everything. So renouncing it doesn't mean that I'm never going to have it. It means that I'm going for the ultimate experience of it. I'm going for the highest experience of it. I'm going for experiencing every single thing in existence and everything beyond existence at the same time, alive in me, as me. So I'm not shunning everything, I'm experiencing everything. That's what the renunciation is. And even through this renunciation, we obviously haven't experienced the full out renunciation, right? Because I'm renouncing women. I'm having better relationships with women because I don't have that vested interest of just trying to have sex from them. I'm not just trying to grab whatever I can from them. Whenever a woman comes in front of me, I'm only trying to enrich and enhance her life in the best way possible. You know, anybody who comes in front of me, really, I try to leave them better as a human being than they were when I met them. That's the lifestyle of Sanyas. Because I don't want anything materially, and because I don't have to work. Because I don't have to work and I'm supported by the Sangha, I'm supported by this lifestyle of begging. See, it's not begging because I'm poor and I can't make money. It's because if I have to rely on society to support my lifestyle, I have to understand the people. And I have to be contributing to them. Otherwise, why would they support my life? Because I'm constantly contributing and constantly trying to understand society and understand what is their problems in life. What is it that they go through? What is it that they need in their life that they don't have? I find those solutions and I bring it to them. And because of that, they're willing to support my lifestyle. And because of that, I don't have any vested interest of, okay, I go to work, so, you know, because I'm working, I want to be a millionaire. Why? Because I have all these bills and I just don't have any sight of a better life unless I just have so much money that I can just throw money at every single problem. I don't have that because I don't have that vested interest. I don't have that lifestyle of going to work, having to pay bills and all these things, and even buy materialistic things. I only ever have what I need. So because I always have what I need, I always feel fulfilled, and I don't feel like I need this and I need that, so I don't have any vested interest for that. Everything that you would normally have a vested interest in, I don't have that. So I can explore the purity of my being, the purity in which I came down with as a baby, as a child. That, you know, as a child, if you ask them what they really want to do in life, they'll give you the so-called craziest answer in the world. It's not crazy. It's just that they're so in tune with the cosmos and that purity of their being that they really experience that magical aspect of life, that higher dimensional frequency aspect of life, where they just know it's possible. So they go for the highest. Nobody took birth to go work at Walmart or be a CEO. You know, we're all trying to do something amazing, something that's groundbreaking, something that's extraordinary. And we all have these dreams. But through living in this vested interest lifestyle in the Maya matrix, which is like the societal construct that we have now, the vested interest destroys that. But since I've renounced all of that, I had that pure space where I can just say, okay, what do I actually want? What do I really authentically want? And again, even if I want something that seems materialistic, I can look into the why. Why do I want that? Because anything I want in my life, ultimately, I voted for that before I took the body. I would have decided that when I was in that etherical space and decided, okay, I want this, this, and this, create the body that's meant for that, that's best for that, and came down. So when I look into the why of it, it'll never be something materialistic. It'll only ever be from the context of, I want to enrich society, enrich myself through this. Because ultimately, life is for others. That's the logic in which the cosmos operates. The cosmos operates with the conscious decision, I'm going to cause the reality of everything else. Because if the cosmos does that, it constantly gets to expand. Because consciousness knows I am everything. When you experience yourself as everything, why would you not want to cause every single reality in front of you? It just means that you're opening up more and more possibilities to yourself. More and more fulfillment of your own being. Because every being that comes in front of you, you know that's you. So it's a beautiful way to explore your own self. Even for all this whole gender identity crisis that people are having now with the LGBT community, and it's gotten so perverse to the point where there's this fluffy movement where people are identifying themselves as animals. Like literally people feel like they're foxes and feel like they're foxes in their body, and there's an actual legitimate movement. Why is that? Because our society is so toxic now that even if somebody was to say that they feel that, they're not supported in any way. And I don't mean support to say, yes, you're a fox, go on and be a fox. Just that, okay, he's feeling like he's a fox. There's a reason why. Let's help him to explore why. They don't have that support. So because they do that, they go to the absolute extremes of it to experience it, because they're having some kind of incompletion or a gender identity crisis. And they don't have the proper knowledge which is given in the Veda-agamas. In the Veda-agamas, Paramashiva describes 11 genders, and those are all accepted. There's even a gay rights ritual for marriage. So we're completely supportive of them. We only really promote transcendental gender, which is not identifying as male or female, or gay or straight, or transgender, like whatever those things are. We don't identify as that. We identify as super consciousness, having a human experience in a human body. That's what we promote. But we're fully accepting of every other single gender. We don't condemn them in any single way, and we only support them in every single way possible, because we know that there are multiple births, and everybody is in a different place in their spiritual progression. I might be a 20-year-old in this body, and somebody else might be a 20-year-old in this body, but I might have lived 20 Janmas, which is a lifetime, where that person might not have lived that. This might be their first body. So they might not be as mature consciously as me, because I've lived longer than they have, even though we're technically 20 years old in this body. So, he might feel that, yeah, like I want to explore this gender. So the way it really works is that there's 4 explorations of gender. First, you explore the self, which is how babies, they'll suck their thumb, put their foot in their mouth, and they're really exploring this body. That's exploring the self gender. Then there's exploring the same gender, which is when, boys grow up and they play with boys. Girls grow up and they play with girls. Now, where people become gay and lesbian is where they take that to the extreme, where they even want to explore the sexual aspect of the same gender, which, again, in the Veda-agamas, it's not wrong. It's just, that's just how that person wants to explore. They want to thoroughly explore that gender, that exploring the same gender. And they'll explore it to the point where they've exhausted exploring it, where it's like, okay, I need something more. And then they'll move on to exploring the opposite gender. Whereas, you'll start having friends that are girls, you start having a girlfriend, maybe get married, have a wife, whatever. And have the sexual relationships. So you'll explore that to the extreme where that's exhausted. And then you move on to where a sannyasi has been. A sannyasi is exploring sex with the cosmos. And it's not like literally having sex, it's not literally like a physical intercourse thing with the cosmos. It's realizing that there's something more than just physical intercourse. Sexuality just means the physicality. So the physicality having union with the entirety of the cosmos, which is what I was referring to earlier, where you experience your entirety of your being alive in every single thing. That's the ultimate experience of sex, where you experience yourself as the entirety of existence and everything beyond that. So that's what a sannyasi goes for, because we've exhausted exploring the self-sex. We've exhausted self-exploration with the same gender. We've exhausted exploring the opposite gender. And now we are exploring the cosmos. We're exploring union with the cosmos so that we can have the ultimate sexual experience. the ultimate unification, an ultimate bliss state, the original state that you came down with. That's the ultimate union, and even sexual union that we're looking for. So because we have the Vedagamic sciences, we have that whole breakdown, we know that, and we have that understanding. So we're understanding of where people are. And we just say, okay, look, that's just where he is in life. He'll explore it, and he'll mature, and he'll move on. Or he or she, whichever one. So in the West, they don't have that. Or I should say in the Maya, not only just in the West. Because West, East, South, North, everywhere is kind of like that now. So in the Maya matrix, they don't have that understanding. So they're not willing to accept them, and they bash them. They literally try to kill them in certain places of the country. They suppress them like there's no tomorrow. Because of the suppression, because that desire is there to explore it, it's going to manifest no matter what. And it'll manifest in the worst, most craziest ways possible. And again, they don't have the sciences of transmuting that sexual energy into the higher chakras for the higher dimensional experiences. So that energy, it has to have some kind of an outlet, because like imagine having a very high voltage of energy and putting it to a light bulb, right? If you put too much in, it'll just explode and you'll end up with a mess. It's essentially what's happening. There's short-circuiting in that chakra because it's becoming unstable because of the suppression, the toxification, through powerless cognitions, through society, through the actual physical toxifications they go through. They end up abusing themselves with alcohol and drugs and cigarettes and absurd amounts of sex from the wrong context. See, sex isn't wrong, but sex from the wrong context is wrong because it'll ultimately only harm you. And even if you look at the pornography industry, if you see it, become so perverse in the modern day. Why? Because people they're suppressed sexually, and because of that sexual suppression, they're coming out with the craziest ways to explore it. Instead of just having that supportive Vedagamic lifestyle where we support you the whole way, so you don't venture out into bestiality or like BDSM and all these other kind of weird things, where it's just really just like you seeking violence against yourself and against somebody else because you're angry at the fact that you're having some kind of incompletion and you're not completing it, and you don't know how to complete it. So that's why this lifestyle of Sanyas is so beautiful, because you renounced it, you can have that objective standpoint where even if you look at the whole breakdown of what I just gave, it's such an elaborate breakdown. It's something that even like if you look at the way professors of sexuality in these universities break it down, they will never give you such an elaborate breakdown like that, because I have the breakdown of the being who created the cosmos itself. He declared it. This is what it really is. After seeing the whole past, present, and future, this is the totality sum of sexuality. That's my basis of it. So I have a pure understanding of it, and I have a pure lifestyle where I can objectively look at everything without any kind of a vested interest in it. So I can explore my sexuality, and Swamiji said, there's no one being who's completely straight. One part of your being might be straight, one part might be feeling gay, one might be feeling bisexual, one might be feeling even bisexual in two different ways. You might be feeling bisexual in a way where you want to have sex with both genders. You might be feeling bisexual where you don't want to have sexual lust for the other genders. You just want to love the other genders, both genders equally. You just want to shower your love on them. Because we have the Vedagamic sciences and understandings, I have that understanding where if there was a gay thought coming up, I can just look in and say, okay, why is that there? Let me look into it. And then usually what I find is that my sexual thoughts or experiences, they have nothing to do with sexuality whatsoever, like physical intercourse. It'll have everything in the world to do with powerless cognitions, experiences that I wanted to have that I didn't have, which again, is not a sexual experience. It's like, maybe experiencing power in my life that I felt like powerless. I felt a powerlessness in my life because I didn't feel that power. I want to feel a physical dominance over someone. So when I see that, I realize there's a better way to experience that. It's through the empowerment of Shaktis, where you literally have consciousness over matter, where you can literally command the cosmos as you want. You can literally have the Kalpataru science of manifesting reality for yourself and for others exactly how you want. When you have that science, you don't want to have this demanding, commanding dominance over other people, because you just know, hey, I can just manifest my reality how I want. Why do I need to boss somebody else around or be controlling over literally it gets to the point where even in sexuality, they have this master-slave relationship where literally the slave has to do whatever the master wants. And it's really toxic. It's really demeaning to both parties. Because one of them is experiencing themselves as not having power, so they need to boss, suck that power to somebody else. Somebody else is feeling that like that need for guidance and not having that guidance and just wanting to completely surrender on to somebody else, but they're not surrendering to the right person. See, that person, ultimately, they're seeking the guru-disciple relationship. See, still, instead of master-slave, it's supposed to be master-disciple, but they don't know that they're seeking the master-disciple relationship. Because the master is somebody who's only ever going to do good to you. He's gonna, like, because in the Veda-agamic tradition, we only pick up masters and gurus who are enlightened beings. Because an enlightened being doesn't have any vested interest. He experiences himself as you, and he only wants to do good to you. He only wants you to experience the highest reality possible. So, again, in the Maya matrix, because they don't know about that, they're exploring that option in the worst way possible, where it's like literally a sexual dominance over someone else, where someone wants to surrender themselves onto someone who's not enlightened. So someone who's not enlightened they have vested interests. They don't have those powerful cognitions. They're not enlightened. They can't play with the consciousness in a way where it'll elevate that person. They keep on just destroying that other person and destroying themselves at the same time. And even that person wanting to be the master of that person, really they want to be a guru to that person. They want to experience the Guru Tattva, which even Paramashiva, he bows down to Guru Tattva, which in the Vedic tradition, we say that the Guru is even higher than God, because Guru can bring you to God. If God gets mad at you, the Guru can bring God back to you. But even if the Guru gets mad at you, God can bring the Guru back to you. So that person wants to experience himself as the Guru. Why? So he can enrich the entirety of the world. But he doesn't have the lifestyle that's supportive of that. So he tries to do it in the best way that he knows how. And you can't even blame them for that, because they don't have that lifestyle and they don't have the knowledge of how to do it. They want to enrich, they want to cause, they want to live the highest lifestyle, but they don't know how. They don't have the highest lifestyle. Sanyas is the lifestyle that they're seeking. The guru-disciple relationship is the lifestyle that they're seeking, but they don't know that. So that's why we're reaching out now to show, look, everything that you guys are seeking, you can experience that ultimately through sanyas, through the guru-disciple relationship. You can explore your sexuality perfectly without damaging yourself. And you could realize, look, maybe you're gay, and okay, fine, you're gay. Maybe you're straight, maybe you're bisexual, maybe you're transcendental in nature. And see, the beauty of Sanyas is that in the initial level of Bhautika Brahmacharya, if for some reason you need to drop it because you don't feel like you can fulfill it, you have that option where you can drop it, you can go back to the Maya, fulfill whatever you want to fulfill, and then you can pick it back up after. See, they always say a failed sannyasi is always better than the greatest successful grihastha. Why? Because a sannyasi is going to carry a different space. They're going to have a different mentality. I'll always have these sannyasi experiences with aparigraha, asteya, non-violence, even brahmacharya, where if I dropped it and went back for some reason, if I find myself trying to grab everything from a person, I could just say, wait, brahmacharya, stop. Asteya, don't try and steal from that person. Don't try to grab everything you can from that person. Don't be a leech. Don't try and suck everything you can from that person and just leave them like dry and dead at the end of it. Enrich that person in the highest way possible, and you'll get enriched through the act of that. That's the way I would do it. If I find out that, I really, really just want to explore the opposite gender, I'll have that pure space where it's not trying to grab it, it's trying to explore it in the best way possible. And then you'll open up the entirety of the possibility. Instead of it only being sexual relations, it'd be experiencing them in terms of, you might want to experience the mother relationship, you want to experience the sister relationship, experience the friend relationship, experience the lover relationship, maybe you want to be a womanizer, maybe you want to just be celibate and just not be in the cloth. Maybe you want to be having a married life. Maybe you want to have kids and contribute sannyasis to the world, where you can give those kids to a gurukul and they can become sannyasis. Through this lifestyle of sannyas, you can sort out all the nonsense, all the fantasies, all the incompletions, all the powerless cognitions. You can sort all that out and come to that pure space where you really authentically know what you want. And from that space, you'll be able to go out and do it. Whether it's as sannyasi who has dropped sannyas and gone back to the Maya, as a grihastha, or as a sannyasi, you've realized that there's a way to do everything, even as a sannyasi, and you pick up the sannyas way of doing it, which is a great way of enriching society and yourself. You have that freedom. And, maybe you decide that, I want to become a purna sannyasi, where you decide that, look, for the rest of my life, for the rest of every single one of my janmas, I always want to be celibate so that I can live the lifestyle of God. I can live the lifestyle of oneness with God, union with God, and spreading that oneness and union with God to the rest of existence, the rest of humanity, the rest of the cosmos. Because in those higher dimensions, you won't only be experiencing this Bhuloka, this one-dimensional. There's 11 different dimensions of the cosmos. There's 14 different planes of existence. You'll go throughout the whole Brahmanda Pandanda, the 14 planes, the 11 dimensions, enriching every being and having even more mind-blowing experiences that you could have ever imagined. That's why, we're so heavily into this superhero culture, this anime culture of like superpowers and extraterrestrial beings and interdimensional travel and everything. Why? It's because we know in our being is there. And as a point of science, you can pick that up and just say, look, I want to be with this for the rest of my life because I've experienced all of that, and now I just want to pick this up because I know this is the best for me. So living as a sannyasi, you can figure out from that pure space, in your pure being, what is it that you authentically want, that you authentically want to be integrated to. And you can pick that lifestyle up powerfully in that space of integrity, authenticity, causing enriching and responsibility, and live the highest, best lifestyle for you personally. Because ultimately, everybody is an individual. We're all unique. We all want to do different things. Even if we want to do the same thing, like say we're all wanting to be sannyasis. Every single sannyasi is going to want to express himself in a different way. He's going to want to contribute to society in a different way. So it's perfectly fine. You'll figure out how you want to contribute to society, and you'll pick that up ferociously with integrity and authenticity. And you'll live in the most blissful, amazing way possible. Because the only reason why we're having all these problems and stresses in our life is because there's contradictions and conflictions, confusions about how we want to do it and what we want to do. Sanyas is the lifestyle where we renounce all the contradictions, all the conflictions, all the confusions, step back and say, okay, am I authentic being? How do I want to express? What do I want to express? Then, with no vested interest, you can go and pick that up and enjoy that lifestyle completely and utterly blissfully because this is exactly what your being wants. It's exactly what your being took birth for. And if you want to expand into your possibilities, you have the science and technologies to expand into those possibilities with a pure space and pick it up powerfully. So that's what Sanyas has done for me. That's what Sanyas will do for you. That's what Sanyas will do for the rest of society. So with that, I leave you with this question. Is Sanyas right for you? Even if you don't know if it is or isn't, pick it up so that you can explore and see. Is it right for me? Or what authentically is right for me? What do I really want? What do I really want to contribute to society and my being? Through Sanyas, you'll be able to answer those questions. So I would suggest you, highly recommend you pick it up. And if you're a married grihastha and you don't want to break your marriage, then, have kids and enrich them to the lifestyle of Sanyas. Enrich them to the lifestyle of Gurukul so that they can ultimately have that experience growing up and have that powerful lifestyle where they can really figure out authentically with integrity, what do you want? What do you want to be? What do you want to contribute to society? What does your being want to experience? And with that, I bless you all. I love you all, everybody. Nithyananda. Be blissful.